Okie dokie. I am now going to answer question number 3 from Carly's video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm doing a series of answering questions that Carly asked in one of her videos. The video is reposted. Please check out my reposts, and she will be tagged down below. The third question that I caught in this video is, what is your process when it comes to shifting? What are you thinking about in general? And are you thinking about what DRU is going to be doing the next day? While, basically, what is the process that you're doing when you're shifting? Not necessarily the method. It could be the method, but, it's more about, what is internally going on while you're in the midst of a shifting attempt. The best shifting attempts I've ever had are the shifting attempts where my brain is not thinking. That's gonna be my really honest answer. My best shifting attempts have been the times when my brain goes brrr and I can just fall into thinking whatever the fuck I feel like thinking at the time. There's no conscious effort into thinking about anything. The thoughts just flow naturally. Now, that took a lot, and I mean a lot, of practice on my end to learn how to do that, and I am not successful a lot of the times. I try to shift literally every single night, regardless of how much effort I'm putting in, or if I'm just being like, I'd really like to shift tonight. Regardless, I'm always thinking about and wanting to, when I go to sleep, shifting. I can't not think about it when I go to sleep because I know that it is a possibility that it could happen, and I just don't know how to not think about it. So my best shifting attempts have come when I'm really relaxed and I'm really comfortable and I'm able to just kind of lay down and just think about my DR and how excited I am to be there and to live my life. Really thinking about living my life is something that's a really big deal for me. But I'm not thinking about what am I going to do tomorrow, or what's my plan, or what's going to happen, or what part of the story am I going to come into, or what's my wake up scenario. As soon as I start having those thoughts, I should just abandon my shifting attempt right there. I should just abandon the shifting attempt and be done. Because I know for a fact the moment that I start doing that, I'm not going to have a successful attempt. It's already not going to happen for me. But if all I'm doing is just laying down, being comfy, and just being really excited about the fact that I can be in my DR, and this is the DR that I'm going to, and this is the life that I'm going to be living, and then I just start kind of vibing with whatever DR thoughts decide to come to me naturally as I'm getting more and more relaxed and more comfortable in my shifting attempt. The moment that I start forcing conscious thoughts, it's not good. Not a good time. If I catch myself doing that during shifting attempts, most of the time I will start immediately affirming random affirmations. So my go-to right now for some reason is everything I want wants me more. And I don't know why that's my automatic go-to, but when I start getting oh no, I'm thinking too much in a shifting attempt, I auto default to repeating affirmations over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And that is technically a coping mechanism that I used for myself in 2016 when I first learned about the law of attraction and the law of assumption, and I watched The Secret, and I just learned about manifestation and how it works, and I took it the way that I did with reality shifting. I was like, so I could manifest, theoretically, anything that I want as long as I can genuinely believe and see myself getting it and am willing to do whatever is required to get that. That will reveal itself to me. Okay, bet. And I kind of felt the same way about shifting. And so for me, I can auto go to, I should just start repeating affirmations in my head. And then as I repeat enough affirmations in my head, eventually, hopefully, my thoughts kind of fall back into naturally having DR thoughts and just being wow, I'm so excited, and wow, I feel so lucky, and wow, this is gonna be so cool, and I'm so excited to live my life, and I can't wait to wake up as myself, and I can't wait to, and then I start running through what would it be like to see my arm right now, and then I try and visualize if I was laying in bed as my DR self, like extending my hand over my head and seeing if I can see anything. I don't move. I don't try and like force a thought. It's just kind of like that's the first thing that I come to when I think like maybe I've shifted, and I start wanting to visualize something, because the first thing I think of is like when I wake up, the first thing I'm probably going to see in any DR is me like stretching my arms up because I'm waking up and that's what I do. And if I have to force the thought, then I'm not ready. I haven't let go. I'm not assuming that the shift is going to happen. And so therefore I just kind of like fall back to repeating affirmations and trying to like connect to my DR self and like remind myself who I am. Like I try to stay away even from like thinking about where I'm going, like what, like where I'm waking up, I guess, more around that. And I try really, really hard to just think about my DR self, and no matter where she is, no matter what's going on, I'll be sleeping and I'll be waking up in a bed. What will my body feel like? And then I just try to really embody like thinking those thoughts and really like grounding myself into the idea of genuinely feeling the feelings of a body and waking up and everything like that. And then I just kind of see how things go from there. It takes a lot of practice. I'm still obviously not perfect at it. I can only hold the like, wow, I feel so free and I feel so excited, and like this is not something that I can do every single shifting attempt. This is just things that like I've noticed between successful shifting attempts and non-successful shifting attempts. The difference is the fact that like in unsuccessful attempts, I'm thinking too hard. The moment that I think what's going to be happening today, what's going to be happening tomorrow, where am I shifting, like when am I shifting into, where am I shifting, I start getting too hung up on details, and then I'm focusing too hard on details, which is CR thoughts, because my DR self would not be thinking about those details. And that's how I try to deviate. And then as soon as I realize I've been thinking too much, I start repeating affirmations as like robotic affirmations, basically to just kind of like pull myself out of my, I guess, my like inner ego brain, and reaffirm what my intention is, what it is I'm doing, why I'm doing this exactly right now. Why am I laying here wanting to shift? Well, I'm excited to shift. I want to shift. Everything I want comes to me. You know, I shift every time I try. I am a master shifter. And then I just kind of like go through the cycle. And sometimes I'll just repeat that till I go to bed. But I don't think of it as like a method or anything. It is just that's just like the process that I go through when I shift, I guess. I hope that made sense. Sorry, this was literally almost 8 minutes. I need to figure out how to talk with less words.